Welcome back, everybody, to the Fifth Line Podcast. We're back. We are 2.8 short days away from some hockey. And I just wanted to start off with a couple things real quick. I had a correction. I have to correct myself from last episode. Lake Tahoe is not, in fact, in Alaska, like I thought it was. I don't know why I thought it was in Alaska. But it's actually located in the Sierra Nevadas, which is like California. It's like on the California-Nevada border.
Gets cold enough to have a frozen.
Well, it's in the mountains, so I'm guessing
Yeah, I
it's
guess
higher up.
Yeah.
It must be really friggin'
California,
high.
dude. Yeah. There's a lot
Imagine,
of
like-
temperature differences across the state.
Imagine like the oxygen levels, like how much harder it'll be to actually play a game when you're that high. Could be interesting. And then also because I feel like it's a special occasion. Hockey's starting up again. I have a special drink today.
Oh yeah.
Mexican Coke. Which, if
You've
you
never
were
gotten that at Walmart
which,
before?
if you were wondering, I didn't know it was at Walmart. That's where I got this. If you were wondering the difference, Mexican Coke uses cane sugar instead of high fructose corn syrup. And there's your more that you know segment for today.
There you go.
And yeah, that was it for
should
Tastes
add that
better
to the
than
repertoire.
that was it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of the Fifth Line Podcast. No, I'm just kidding.
We're
Corey
done. There's
Crawford.
nothing else.
Corey Crawford.
Yeah. That was very unexpected. I was pretty surprised when I read that.
Yeah, I didn't read. Well, what was the actual? Do we know what the personal reasons were, or is it just? Has anybody said? Okay, because I know he's dealt with some really bad mental injuries in the past. I think didn't he deal with vertigo at one point? Like he dealt with some shit with his head, with his brain, that looked like it might like push him out of hockey for good, and then he came back and had a pretty good season last year. But I hope it's not because it's more issues related to that.
Yeah, I mean, I hope it's nothing serious. Sad to see him go because I mean he was still a good goalie, and and New Jersey was probably really excited to get him on their team, but unfortunately he won't be helping them out. So I have his career stats here: 13 seasons, which he actually played all with Chicago. So it's almost kind of nice that he's not going to be playing because now he's got that nice. He was with the same team for his whole career. All with Chicago. He was 36 years old. 488 games played. Pretty damn good right there. A .918 save percentage for his whole career, which is that's pretty good. And then a .245 goals against average, and then he had 26 shutouts. So pretty tidy little career there.
Yeah, and to kind of sum up everything with what we were talking about before, in his statement, the one sentence that I picked out was, "I wanted to continue my career, but believe I've given all I can to the game of hockey, and I've decided it's time to retire." So that's as close as we're getting to the reason right now. So
Yep.
Whatever that may be.
Maybe someday we'll know.
Yeah, and we'll probably never know anyway. Like, it's kind of one of those. Like, I feel like he probably didn't want to leave Chicago. So, but who knows?
That could have been it, but I don't think he would sign a contract somewhere and then not play because he didn't want to play for somebody other than Chicago. I think he would have sucked it up. But I think there's probably something else going on health-wise, but
Only he knows.
Yeah, it might. But the fact that he did sign a new contract and appeared to, and he even said in the statement, I wanted to play.
Yeah.
But it sadly sounds like he might have had some recurring issues because I found what it was. He missed the rest of the season. I think this was in 2018 with vertigo-like symptoms, and then team senior advisor Scotty Bowman the next day after that was announced said he was suffering from post-concussion syndrome. So there's been issues with his head in the past. So, I mean, I can't say for sure that's what it is, but it sounds like it could be.
As likely as anything else.
Yeah.
And then he won the cup in 2015. And I remember that.
I think he was 13 and 15.
Yeah, 13 and 15.
Yes, he did win it in 13 as well. Was he the starter though? I think I'm pretty sure they were.
Point.
Yes,
was
he was the starter both times. Yeah, and I keep forgetting. Oh my God, who was Chicago's goalie when they won in 20.
I know their pair. It was Antti Niemi, and then guess who the other fucker was?
Was it Ray Emery?
No,
Wait,
Or
was
no?
this?
it's even more obscure.
Is it Hugh A?
It is.
What?
First of all, Hugh, as far as I know, I'm gonna check.
I
'cause
remember
I'm
you
not
saying
positive on
this
that.
because it was like,
I'm fairly certain Cristobal Hue has a Stanley Cup from that year.
Wow.
yeah, I remember you saying that and being like, oh, why couldn't it have been with the Habs?
Yep, I think so. Yes, he won the Stanley Cup with the Chicago Blackhawks during the 2009-2010 season.
That's funny.
French hockey legend Cristobal Hue.
Yes,
but-
Canadians legend as well.
Yes.
Crystal ball.
And then another goalie with more health issues, but this one's actually positive. Lundqvist, obviously we all know he underwent heart surgery, which was to, as Eric said, he was getting a valve replaced with a pig valve,
Yeah.
apparently.
Yeah. Well, so I don't know exactly what he chose, if he chose to get it replaced or if they like removed anything or like.
Well, I read the article earlier today, and he said he got like a valve
Oh.
replacement, and then there was like an
Okay.
aortic something going on. I don't know, man.
Okay, but yeah, no, it was something. I think I mentioned this, but yeah, it was something was fusing that shouldn't have been fused, and they had to remove that or just kind of mess around with it and get it to work properly. So he chose the replacement valve. Okay.
Yeah, and then so that happened. Jesus, I don't even know what day that happened, but it was a success, and everything is fine, according to Sean Leahy of NBCSports.com.
There we go.
Apparently Hank feels good. So I probably
That's good
still
to
won't
hear.
see him because my assumption is
Yeah,
that
I
he'll have to
would've-
do some cardiac work,
Yeah.
rehabilitation.
If you're not gonna go into if you're not gonna go into a season because of heart issues, you're not gonna go into a season when you're recovering from heart surgery.
Yeah.
True
that.
But it sounds like he's gonna be okay, which hopefully means if he is
He'll
up
get
for
his
it,
cup.
It wouldn't shock me if he comes back the season after this, or if he at
Please.
least tries. I think somebody would sign him. If he's still wanting to do it, I think somebody would sign him, but
Yeah.
I think that'll be up to him, right? But it's the important part is he seems to be okay for now.
Yes. All right, Eric. Last time it was Nick's time to shine. Now it is your time to shine. They have done it.
Oh my God.
We
Yes.
didn't know when it would happen. They waited until basically the last minute, but they have done
Yep.
it.
But they locked up Matt Barzell for 3 years. So they went short term, but they got something done. And it is NHL Discussion did a nice breakdown that I made sure to take a picture of just for reference. But the first year he's making $4 million, the second year he's making $7 million, and then year 3 he's making $10 million.
Yep. Front diving.
Yeah, front diving. Yeah, so I guess you can kind of argue, right? So it's basically year 1 is team friendly and obviously cap friendly for the Islanders, because they kind of were in a bit of a little predicament there.
My question, and this is to Ben because I think Ben will know the answer. With deals like that, is the cap hit the AAV or is it how much they make that year?
As far as I know, the cap hit is the AAV. The only thing that those kind of deals are usually used to do is if you make the majority of like a contract paid up front or whatever, it makes it easier to then trade that contract to a poorer team.
Oh, okay.
Because most of the actual money paid to the player has already been done.
Mhm.
So like a team like an Arizona that doesn't have that much spare money might still be able to take on a contract that's a $6 million cap hit, but like only $1.5 million of actual dollars is my best understanding of it.
That makes sense.
But it's
So-
the NHL salary cap, so take that for what you will.
That makes sense because that means with all of the teams being in, financial stress now, they don't have to pay him as much this year.
Yeah.
And then hopefully everybody gets back on their feet and then they can afford him at $7 million and $10 million.
Yeah, so and that's right. That's like the we have to wait and see part of it. Also, this was an interesting comment on that post. Somebody said, great job for Barzell getting the 3rd year at 10 mil for the qualifying offer next contract. So basically, he's kind of setting his price with that 3rd year is how I interpret that, right? Kind of like the ballpark of what he wants. If
you
it's
think
gonna
I
be
know
a-
how the RFA
Strong.
system works,
As long as he performs. As long as he performs.
Yeah, as long as he performs. But regardless, he's locked up. He was at training camp, big smile on his face, and I think there was an interview too, and someone asked him like, "Oh, were you ever worried like you wouldn't return or whatever?" And just his reaction to it, he just kind of like chuckled. He's like, "Oh no, I wasn't worried about that at all." Which like obviously I'm like, well, you kind of waited to the last minute there, but
Yeah.
but at the same time, it's nice to see he kind of just he's like, yeah, whatever. It like I'm locked up and like I want to play here, and that's exciting to see, especially for like your superstar player saying that.
Yeah.
So there
That's
we go.
not a bad price either.
Fair.
Not a bad price for a
Sorry.
Barzell.
Yeah.
I think Braden Point, and I feel like they are two very similar players. I feel like they fill the same role.
Small, fast, really good
small,
hands,
quick centers.
creative. Yeah. Yep.
But yeah, he Point is like 6.25.
Okay.
So yeah, so it's pretty roughly the same at this
Yeah.
point.
At this point,
At this, yeah.
Pun intended.
That's punny.
Oh, screw you, man. All right. You guys want to do World Junior stuff? Let's
Yeah,
go.
I guess.
Yeah.
I actually
really?
didn't
All
watch
right.
that much of them.
Ben, Canada
I-
lost.
I watched barely any, and then I watched basically the whole finals game. 'cause I
Same,
found
yes,
Yeah.
illegal
let's go.
stream on YouTube.
I found a
Yeah.
stream on YouTube as well.
Nick sent the
I
one
watched
on.
the gold medal. I watched the gold medal game, or at least sort of watched it in passing. But I was mostly just frustrated during that entire thing because the Team USA coach refused to use Cole Caulfield to be Cole Caulfield
His numbers were not what I expected them to be.
because he, as a player, his thing is the Ovi spot. That's how he
Really?
scores.
The
That's
tiny
his
guy?
thing. Yes, that's
He's got a
his,
big
like,
shot.
Yeah, he has a
Wow.
fucking
Yeah.
1T from that slot spot. Or
Okay.
not slot, face off circle spot.
Yeah.
But the entire World Juniors, they used him as net front. He was like in
Okay.
front, like he was like, net is here, he's here.
They were putting him in
like
the
that.
in the
Yeah.
Nylander spot.
It's not like they were like, let's not use him for his thing he is extremely good at and scores goals with. And this all of Habs fandom on Twitter was just aflame because like that's the one thing he does is he can rip it like from the spot and like from the angles that Ovi does regularly.
That's
Like
all
there was
he
like
does?
fucking there's like well no that's not all he does but that's like that is his
That's a
way
big-
he scores
big thing.
goals. Like yeah.
Okay.
He did it tonight in his first game back with his college. From that spot. Like it's his thing. And Team USA's coaches refused to do it. But that's basically my only feelings on World Juniors because Cole Caulfield was really the only guy I was paying attention to in that. And
All right.
he did terribly.
Okay. One thing I would like to point out, which is pretty cool, is Devin Levi, who was Team Canada's goalie, and Spencer Knight, who was the U.S. goalie. Both had some insane tournaments, and both are Florida Panther prospects.
Yeah, that's it makes you feel pretty dumb about signing Bob to 10.4? 10.4 a
Oh
year?
my god. Whatever it is, it's too much.
Yeah. It's too
You've
much
got-
for Carey Price as well, but at least Carey Price is Carey
He's
Price.
good though. And he's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
he's like consistently
Consistently.
at the very least he's okay. Whereas
Yeah.
Bobrovsky goes from insanely good to just you don't even want to play him as your starter. Like
And the thing is with Carey, the Knights
And they're
that he-
never going to be able to trade him for
Really?
that much money either.
oh god no.
it's always very clearly not his fault. But yeah, no, Sergei Bobrovsky's contract is looking a lot of things, but not good. I mean, if he has a bounce back year this year, I don't know, because then you still have 10.4 mil. And that when you have those two goalies coming up behind him, you still have 10.4.
Florida's in a
But,
bad
yeah,
situation.
it's
He's gonna end up.
rough. It's
He's
rough.
gonna. Yeah, no, it's not good. But they have two nice goalies coming down, so that's nice. The leading scorer in the tournament was Trevor Zegras. Now, I barely watched any, obviously, so I didn't see a lot of him playing. But he had 7 goals, 11 assists, 18 points in 7 games. And he is in the Anaheim Ducks organization. So
My man's has got a shot.
Does he?
Fucking
Zegras
Christ.
he had a tournament. Oh my god, he scored a goal. That I think I know what you're like. That one shot, Ben. That goal against Sweden, just from no angle, just short
There's
side
that,
over the
just
goalie's
his
shoulder.
wrister/snapper.
Yep.
Like, Christ.
this is Snapper.
Oh, yeah.
Incredible.
Nice shot.
But I think the one thing that stood out to me, like whenever I would watch highlights of him, like just like his confidence with the puck and like the way he like, like when really good players like they'll have the puck and like when you watch them stick handle or stuff, it's like everyone's giving them like you has to respect like them when they have the puck, or like the game kind of seems to slow down a bit when they have the puck. That's just kind of what Zegras was like to watch in the tournament. So like Anaheim fans must be really excited. He's a great player.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I don't know. I guess like that whole like Austin Matthews, Patrick Kane thing with like the handles and just like like a lot of quick handles, but like in a very calm and not like
Calm way.
choppy way. Yeah, kind of like that.
Cooch.
But yeah, yeah.
Oh, I love.
yeah,
Zegras. I miss him already. They haven't even started, and I miss him.
Listen, you're gonna. We already discussed the when the Kraken try to steal your players, you're gonna get he'll still be on LTIR, so you'll avoid the.
I almost want him to stay on the LTIR, but I also want him for the playoffs. So it's like it's
mixed bag.
Yeah, and then
That's still weird to think, though. By the end of this year, there'll be a Seattle Kraken.
I know,
Yeah.
I'm super hype.
Yeah.
It's so weird to think another team already, because like
and everybody's teams are gonna be different because they're gonna fuck someone over.
Well, because it was so long for, it was so long between. I mean, when was the last expansion team other than Vegas?
It's funny. It's the early 2000s. I want to say 2003.
Yeah,
Really?
obviously we're not counting the Jets because they.
I was just gonna say.
I don't know when
wasn't
that
that
happened,
a
but that wasn't an expansion team. That was just a moving team.
Relocation. NHL expansion time.
But it was early 2000s, so it was like
Was it Columbus or no?
Columbus. Yeah, it was Columbus and Minnesota.
when was that? 2002.
Oh, and it was 2000.
Oh, it was
First team,
2000.
because I'm looking at the timeline. Vegas was the first team since 2000.
So it was
Which
17 years then, or 16.
16.
16.
I mean, yeah, Vegas came in 2017, but like it was announced in 2016.
Okay.
So it sounds like a long time, but like I think that's largely because it's also just the entire time we've watched hockey. So it feels like
Yeah.
a really long time for us, because when you look back before that 2000,
It was it was 92.
well, there was 99, but oh yeah, I guess it actually is kind of long. Never
Who was
mind.
who was 99?
99. Oh wait, that was a relocation. Flames. No, it was a new one. Thrashers. Thrashers was an expansion.
Oh,
What about
yeah.
the Predators? What about the Predators? When did they-
Predators were 98.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
and
Okay,
then
that's quite a bit then.
Before that, 93. So they were actually kind of coming hot and heavy
93.
for a while.
And then
there.
92, Nick, you and me.
So they were coming pretty quick for a while,
Yeah.
and there actually wasn't anything. So I guess it was a long time.
It was
Never
it
mind.
was a long
Come
gap,
back
yeah.
around to where you're at. Yep, it was a long time.
And then just 3 short years later, or 4 short years, I guess it'll be, we're getting another one. And then a couple other players I do want to mention from the World Juniors. Tim Stützle, Nick.
Let's go.
He was actually 4th in points. 5 goals, 5 assists, 10 points in 5 games. Pretty damn
But
good.
5 games. Yeah.
He was also voted best forward of the tournament. Excuse me. I don't know if that was player voted or coach voted, but yeah, it was voted by somebody.
He's showing promise already.
And then the second highest scoring forward in the tournament is Dylan Cousins, who is a Buffalo Sabres prospect. which is
Ooh.
pretty cool. Yeah.
There you
So
go, Danielle.
they're making they will be good eventually. We just don't know
No, they've been
when.
saying that for a while.
Yeah, it's like the
It's sad at this point. Actually, I want them to do well because like Buffalo's
Yeah,
never
right?
made me mad.
yeah.
Like they're just Buffalo, so yeah, you don't deserve to just
That-
be this bad for this long.
That
You just gotta
reminds
get
me.
that goalie situation figured out.
That's pretty
They
much
do.
that's the big one. But that all reminds me of the clip in The Last Dance where they were it was like right towards the beginning they were talking about a rebuild right after the Bulls won their second in the second three-peat, their 5th championship. And Michael Jordan's like, the Cubs have been rebuilding for 42 years now. It's like, Jesus.
It hasn't been
come on.
quite
Took the
that
Cubs
long.
No.
It took the Cubs 100 years to figure that out. So
Yeah.
I think the Sabres made it to like an Eastern Conference Finals in the year the Sens went to the Cup. So that was 07. So yeah, I guess 14 years is a little while.
That's not terrible, It's not good.
I don't think they've done really anything of significance since then. I think they might have made a couple playoff appearances, but other than that, nothing.
What
Didn't make any
season was it?
dents.
What season was it where they went on like that 11-game win streak or something? So it was a few years ago, right?
Ben's like, to Google.
Oh no, because this involves Ben. I'll never forget. Like, so they did that, and then they fell off and they missed the playoffs despite going on that streak. And I remember somebody tweeting like, "Oh yeah, like what a surprise that like the Sabres had a strong start and then missed the playoffs." And Ben retweeted it, and he was like, "Is it really that surprising? though? Is it?" Like,
Oh,
because
Jesus.
yeah, like it's Buffalo. Like
Yeah, that was always the nice thing about the Atlantic Division for basically all of my like time watching hockey, because it was before that it was the Northeast and then became the Atlantic. Buffalo's always been in it, and the Habs have never really had to worry about them.
Yep.
And it's been but at some point, like, come on, Buffalo fans don't deserve that.
No.
Yeah.
No, I'm telling you, they're gonna be good. They're gonna get a good goalie at some point, and then they're gonna Dylan Cousins is gonna come on and just score like 120 points or some shit. It's gonna be epic.
So here's a question for you guys. So with the and then this kind of circles back with the expansion coming up. How does that handle with like protecting players? Do you have to protect your prospects too, or can they go after your like? No,
It's,
Not prospects, but yeah, Ben, you
I
go
don't
ahead.
remember. I don't remember the exact numbers, but there's like a minimum games played requirement to be able to be picked. Like you can't. Like they're not going to have you protect every draft pick and prospect you've had that's only ever played like 10 games in the NHL. I don't remember what it was the last time around for Vegas, but I think it was like anybody under. Fuck, now I got to look it up because I want to know.
my point to this was maybe this is how Florida gets rid of Bobrovsky, is they just don't protect him. And then they just
that would be a smart move.
I don't think you're gonna. Yes, but I don't think you're gonna do it just by not protecting him, because
That's
even if
also
it is Sergei Bobrovsky and is a starting goalie, there is no team starting from scratch that is going to take on that contract without one. Actually, no, I don't think you can retain in the fantasy draft, so I don't think that's how that works.
In the expansion draft.
Maybe if Florida throws him
like a sweetener.
a first round pick,
Little
or
pick.
who are all of Florida's really good prospects? I don't even really know. But you're not just they're not just taking Bobrovsky.
I think it would.
if it-
I think they would. There would need to be a real shortage of goalies available for them to take
You know what would be
that.
hilarious? Is if Fleury and Vegas somehow came to some agreement and they left Fleury exposed and they took
Yeah.
Fleury. That would be amazing. This man just starts franchises.
This is what he does. It's what he does.
I would
mean,
love
buddy.
that.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't think that's
Marc-Andre
going to happen, but that would be hilarious.
Marc-Andre Fleury would be. I mean, look, the guy. He's like one of the most lovable NHLers. Like to start a franchise. Come on.
See, he was, but like, he really tarnished his image with that, with his agent's move there. That's
agent-
not-
It was just so weird.
Oh,
But
Like-
like he
yeah.
didn't. he didn't like throw his agent under the bus when they asked him. Like they asked him straight up. They were like, did you tell your agent to do this or did he do it on his own? And he was like, and then he just said a whole lot of nothing, not answering the question. And then another person was like, so did you tell him to or not? And he was like, well, I think I just answered that question. It's like, well, no, you didn't.
No agent is gonna do that without
exactly. That's what I'm thinking.
At least the permission. Like maybe Marc-Andre Fleury. I'm guessing Marc-Andre Fleury didn't like Photoshop the photo and give it to the agent and be like, yeah, please post this. No, I'm thinking Alan Walsh was probably like, this would be something. This would get people all fucking riled up because that's really what he does. Is he just like. I don't think he actually thinks that fucking whatever the fucking
Pete DeBoer.
Well, Pete DeBoer. I don't think he actually thinks that he was stabbing Marc-Andre Fleury in the back. I think he just thought Twitter would
enjoy that,
go crazy for it, and it would bring his client's name into the light, and hopefully it would force a situation where he might get a game, and he did get a game. So I don't know, but yeah, it was weird. It was just very weird. It's been a weird year for hockey.
Yeah.
Well, it's a new year, actually. Never mind.
This has been 2020 was the weirdest year. For sure. Not even close.
Just at all.
Yeah, not even just hockey, just in general.
Yeah.
God, let's hope 2021 isn't the same.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Hopefully it just goes. Hopefully, we're not starting out on a great note. I won't lie.
355
hopefully it goes up instead of down.
We had a good. I keep seeing this meme pop up. It's like we had a good first 4 days. 2021, you can be returned. I'll take 2022 now.
It was 5.
No, we are currently living on December 41st, 2020.
Yes.
Yeah. You know what? They can have 2020 can keep those first couple days. All right, the new divisions, boys. We talked about the new divisions a couple times. And now they have names. Sponsored names, in fact. So we've got the Scotiabank they're still calling it the North. They're calling it the Scotiabank North Division. It's the Scotiabank Canadian Division. Come on.
Yeah, this is part. Oh, actually, no.
I don't know why I don't know why they haven't just used Canadian. Like I don't understand. But
because they're not.
No, go for it. Go for it.
My bet is because they're not. Maybe I don't know. Not everybody who plays in that division is Canadian, so they're probably not going to just label it as.
You think that's
who knows, dude? This world's really friggin' sensitive on names these
but
days.
I don't think that's it.
I don't think that's it either, and I don't think that's it because when there's 2 Canadian games playing, they've only played the Canadian national anthem, and there's Russians, Americans, Swedish people, but they still only play the Canadian national anthems. So I don't think it's that. I
think the NHL just is very good at finding ways to just not be like what the fans would like. Literally everybody was calling it the Canadian division. Like everybody's still just calling it that. And they're like, no,
it's the North. It's the
just
North division.
It's just the most NHL thing ever. But to the people who are mad about them selling off the sponsorship deals, you weren't even going to call what most of the divisions what they were calling it anyway. Just don't call them that. You don't need to. They just say it a few times on the broadcast.
Yeah, it's not. There's no change. There'll be a logo at the beginning of the broadcast. Like, come on.
The announcers will probably have to say the Scotiabank Canadian or Scotiabank North Division standings or whatever.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
whenever,
Exactly.
You have to say it, but you don't have to. And the league needs money. So do you want to watch hockey? I do.
And it's
shut that.
Nick, you can't do that. You peek and then you cut out.
That's the same thing with like the logos on the helmets too. Like they're really not that.
Yeah,
like,
I was
gonna say small.
They're just they're small stickers on helmets. Like it's like.
I mean, the NBA's been doing it for a couple of years now.
Yeah,
like I know the Lakers have like a wish right here on
the little lapel of like.
Yeah.
It's like it doesn't change anything about the jersey. It adds one logo, like big.
The one everybody was saying with the helmet ads was like, I actually got replied to on a tweet where I was just being like, oh, it's a fucking big deal, and some dude's like, it's just represents like pushing into an area like a sanctified area that has resisted commercialization so far. Like, what are you going to think about when they get onto the jerseys? And I'm like, well, it'll probably only really ever go as far as the NBA has done, which is one little one, so I'm not going to care.
Turn
And
into
also-
Russia and plaster it all over their jerseys.
And also, the commercial is, oh, you mean the fucking power play brought to you by fucking AutoZone or whatever? Like,
Exactly.
ads are everything. What do you fucking mean?
There's been commercialization. I can't talk, but
Of
that's
sports
been in
forever.
hockey, in sports
What are you
forever.
talking
yeah.
about?
Also, when you think about like if you talk to someone who like grew up watching hockey years and years ago, like they're like, wow, like we are like the boards with all the ads
Yeah.
on them, like the boards were just white boards. But,
Oh,
like, they
I'm
were-
sure whenever
everything
that
doesn't
started
matter.
to get introduced, they would. I'm sure there was
Yeah.
people then reading the newspaper being
yeah,
like,
just like
Ben,
"What is this?"
There were ads.
Clarity.
There were ads on our minor hockey boards.
Yeah,
Like,
Ben,
Smart.
it's clear.
it's
They
for
clearly do it at every single level. Like I went to a Phantoms game a couple years ago, and their power play is sponsored by Casella Waste Management, and everybody makes a joke because that's like a
I always
garbage
made
company.
a joke about that because
that was Plattsburgh.
the Plattsburgh. Yeah, it was
No, they
Plattsburgh
did it there too. They
Yeah.
do it at that for the Thunder too.
They actually had a trash friggin' power play too.
They
yeah.
did, which I always thought was appropriate.
Mm-hmm.
But
So anyway, then we have the Discover Central division.
Oh my.
The
yeah, we
Mass
got a little off topic there.
the Mass Mutual East division and the Honda West division. So 3 of the 4 are like financial institutions, and then the 4th is a big ass car company.
Yeah, and then I don't know if Mass Mutual is like a regular like sponsor with the NHL, but I know the other 3 are just they're companies that already are like long-standing
Yep.
sponsor partners with the NHL.
Yeah,
that have been
'cause
doing
isn't-
ad campaigns with them forever. So
Isn't the
it
Senators
makes
like
sense.
the Senators arena is Scotiabank Place, isn't it?
Well,
I
yeah,
think
and then
that-
Scotiabank
is
is just a really big Canadian. No, that's
That's Toronto, I'm pretty sure.
Hold on, let me
I
check.
think
I thought they.
I think Scotia might also actually be sponsoring the Sens. I think it's both
Oh
of them.
man, Scotia.
I know-
Scotia.
Ottawa was Canadian Tire.
Oh no,
Center.
they're Canadian Tire. They're Canadian
Are
Tire.
they still? Okay, so then I think they used to be Scotia, went to Canadian Tire, and then
Yeah.
Toronto picked up. But
Yep.
yeah, Scotiabank is just a really big Canadian sponsor for the NHL. So it makes sense that Canadian division, and then it's names. I don't see
Yeah.
the big deal.
I also some teams are doing the helmet ads and some teams aren't. I don't really get. I mean, I guess it depends on the financial situation for each team.
I thought fairly every one.
I
every single one.
I looked through and there was a few that did not have any. Like the Lightning right now, it didn't. There was nothing online about the Lightning having a helmet sponsor. I
The
didn't see
Islanders
anything.
don't have one either. I
Yeah.
don't think, right? They're
Interesting.
But there's quite a few who do. I will say the Penguins big PPG, that's a big friggin' sticker and that's ugly. But well, you do what you gotta do.
It is like it does definitely work better on some of the helmets than the others because like it's a big ass blue PPG on a black, white, and like yellowish gold uniform.
Yep.
With the Habs, it's at least like on their blue helmets, it's Bell in white writing, and on their white helmets, it's Bell
blue.
in blue writing.
Yeah, that one
And
makes
it
sense.
just blends in really well. It doesn't you barely even notice it. I mean, you
Yeah.
notice it, but like it's not that bad.
Yeah.
It definitely is mixed around the league.
But I
'Cause I think the
mean,
Leafs have like a red Scotia S on their helmet, which
the
looks
Leafs
strange.
do, yeah, and it's on their white helmet, and I'm like, oh, could you not have just made it blue? But it's because their corporate colors are
Yeah,
red
their
and
corporate
white.
color is red.
So
yeah.
it's like, make an exception.
I love how we just were like it's not a big deal, but then we just critiqued all the
We just keep
stickers
talking
on
about-
that.
Well, I
I mean,
don't
'cause
mind
in
the
the end,
Scotiabank.
The
Is it
Edmonton
like-
one's kind of cool.
In the
Yeah,
end,
yeah,
it's
no,
not
no,
a big
yeah.
deal, but like some of them do look a little silly.
I'm just joshing. I definitely
Like
yeah, the color
Nashville's got a
schemes
big
are-
giant Bridgestone logo.
Yeah, but the Bridgestone logo is sick, so it's cool.
I want to see what it looks like actually on their helmet.
Oh yeah, I'm looking at Pittsburgh's right now. That's pretty fucking ugly.
Dude, it's Pittsburgh's is the worst. It really is. Like Pittsburgh's is bad. Like look at that, dude. It's
So the one for
it's
They got
huge
a
the
blue.
Capitals is pretty cool.
The Capitals. I like the Capitals one because it sticks with the Capitals. It's Capital One.
Yeah.
One.
Capital
yeah.
One. Yeah.
It's so
Like
good.
if you just don't even look too close, it's
I
just
don't
like all
think
right, it
it's a-
still says Capital. It's fine.
That's just their name.
I don't think the Senators have one right now either. They're expected to wear Bell, but they
Oh.
don't have one yet.
Why did the Nashville Predators Twitter account share an OnlyFans link on June 22nd?
Oh,
Because whoever their social media manager is was having
Yeah, but
a
it was
little
on-
fun.
It was on June 22nd. It never got removed.
He was
They
He was
didn't-
on the
they
wrong
didn't see
account.
it. Click on it. Click on it.
It just says OnlyFans.com. I think it's just the main website.
Oh,
but...
that's funny.
Oh no, they have.
Nashville.
It actually was a link that said Preds NHL Twitter guy, but it says the account's gone now.
Oh my gosh, dude.
They made an account on OnlyFans.
That's funny.
all right. Things you
and-
didn't expect.
So
that just took. We just went.
Oh, that's ugly.
real
We
quick.
did just turn
that's
to
ugly.
which one?
Did you guys see the Detroit one?
I'm sure
United
that
Wholesale. It's a
Uh,
big U, W, and M right across the.
I
It's
did see that.
stupid.
That one actually, you know what? That one I don't mind because the colors match. And it's just text.
Ooh, I like Boston's. Titty Bank. They got Titty Bank.
Got Titty Bank.
Yeah, they did. Same as the arena.
Cool. Titty Bank.
The Bridgestone one. I like the
Titty
Bridgestone one.
Bank.
The bell on the Canadians looks more than fine.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I don't mind
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Yep. Helmet
Oh.
stickers.
it. Oh, is Nick crashing? Uh-oh. Could
No.
have Nick's. He's still here. He's still here. So anyway, I would like to hear everyone who everyone thinks is going to be making it into that top 4 spot in the division and is going to be playing for the Stanley Cup in the playoffs. Let's start with Eric. Would you like to start?
Wait.
sir?
So you just want like the
I
top
just-
team in each division?
Well, who do you think's going to make the playoffs? So who do you think will be top 4 in the division?
Oh, in the top 4 in each division.
Yeah.
Okay.
You want me to come
let's
back
go.
to you? I have mine ready.
Uh,
we
well-
can come back to you
well,
if you want.
I want to start with ones. I have my ones.
Okay.
I have a
let's
pretty-
let's
alright,
just
so-
do that then.
So in the East, I want my Isles to be top 4. Hopefully, I think they can do it.
Oh yeah.
Pretty confident. But I think Washington's gonna finish first overall. I don't know. I know like Lundqvist isn't playing, but I think the coaching change, like Washington's a great team, and I think with the coaching change that might be a little boost that they need, and that'll get them to number 1. Central, I'm gonna go Tampa. That's the safe bet. I mean, maybe Dallas could give them a run for their money, maybe, or Carolina could do something weird, but I don't know. So I'm gonna go Tampa for the Central, right? That's the Central.
Yeah.
And the Central.
The Discover Central.
The Discover Central.
Come on, Eric. Get it right.
I'm sorry. in the wait, hold on one sec. Oh God, I lost mine. Here we go. In the Honda West. There we go. I'm getting the hang of this. The Honda West. It's between Colorado or Vegas. Those are the safe bets. I think Vegas, just because Colorado, Matt, they have such a great team. It's just their goaltenders staying healthy has just been the biggest issue. Just it seems like constantly each season.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with Vegas because they have Leonard in there as a steady force. And for the Scotiabank Canadian division, I'm probably gonna go with I'm gonna go Edmonton. I'm gonna go Edmonton. Yeah.
Wow, Ed goes with Edmonton. That's an
Yeah,
interesting
I'm
one.
gonna go Edmonton. I'm gonna be honest though, if not Edmonton, like I know Ben was holding the logo up, that did not influence me at all. But honestly, I think Montreal could surprise some people.
So
they're
you're
my
saying-
sleeper team.
So you're
my
saying
sleeper
your
team.
top 2 right now are Edmonton,
Edmonton and Montreal.
Canadians?
Yep.
Doesn't put Toronto up in the top. Interesting.
Interesting.
They're top 3, but they're definitely not 1 or 2.
Oh, so-
They gotta
Wow.
prove it, man.
Oh,
They gotta
This
prove
guy-
it with
this
that new
sounds
team.
like Ben talking over here.
Do I even have to go? My God.
No, Toronto is so good. I wouldn't be surprised if they just went on a run and were the number one spot. But again, right, for Toronto, right? I don't think like being the number, like just getting a playoff spot is what's important. Like
Yeah,
if you're
right.
a Toronto fan, you're like, guys, we finished first in the division. Come playoffs, you know it's gonna be the classic Toronto thing. Every other fan in the NHL is gonna be like, hey, game 7, or hey, first round. It's just
They don't have to play Boston this time, so.
also true.
No
Also
excuses. Well, they played Columbus
That's
last
true,
year.
that's
They
true.
can't do that.
Yeah.
That's true.
So wait, so to recap, so Edmonton or Montreal, Colorado, Vegas, Tampa, and Washington. Those are my 4.
All right. Nick, you want to go, buddy?
Sure. So I'll give you my top 2 out of each of them.
Okay.
I don't know enough about it. I haven't looked at it that close to really make a decision on anybody else. But so I would say out of the East, I like the Rangers. I think they're gonna do some surprising work this year.
The
Okay.
Rangers.
And
He thinks Alexis is gonna come in and wreck some shite.
I don't know. They're gonna be good. It might take them a little bit to get going, but I think by the end of the season they're gonna be rolling. And
have the
then
tools.
probably, Jesus, I don't know. The East Division's the shit.
You
It's the
started with the
shit
hardest
show.
one.
Like
You started with the hardest one.
I don't think Boston's gonna do much because they didn't fill any defensive spots. Buffalo's hard to tell what they're gonna do because their goalies suck. I'm gonna go with your Islanders, Eric. I'm gonna go the New York teams.
New York teams, yeah. that's
Rangers
fair.
and Islanders 1-2.
That's fair.
In
That'd be
the
cool to see.
Central, the Central, it's between the two. It's Dallas or Tampa. I think Dallas, because Jamie Benn and Tyler Seguin are not going to have 2 bad years in a row, at least in my opinion. One of them is going to turn it around, which subsequently makes the other one play better because they always play the same lines typically. But it's either going to be Dallas, Tampa 1-2 out of that one. I'm with you again, Eric. West is Colorado or Vegas.
Yeah.
I think Vegas, just adding Petro. Colorado didn't really make any moves in the offseason either to make them leaps and bounds better than what they were.
They got Saad randomly.
That's
That was
Yeah, I mean, Colorado is pretty friggin' awesome. The only reason they had a harder time in the playoffs because they lost half of their core forwards. I think they still.
That's true because
head with the goalie thing too.
Yeah, dude, Grubauer plays so well, and then it's always like a must. It's never like a collision. It's just always he just goes down for a save and just tears something. Or
Did they do
tweaks
anything in
something.
terms of their goalie situation?
He's got porcelain
True
bones.
to your point, because wasn't Rottinen and Landeskog were both out for
Yes.
a long
Yeah.
haul through.
through the
There was
season.
some
break,
bad
yeah.
playoff injuries.
Yeah, it's one of them. 1-2. I think I'm gonna go with Vegas. So, and then in the North's tough because
Scotiabank
my
North.
gut one. Scotiabank North. Yep, plug it. It's tough because Toronto has been notorious over the last couple of years of not doing jack shit getting close to the playoffs. And my gut says to go with them just because of everything they've added, but they are not proven at all. You don't know how these guys are going to play together, and now you got to make a bunch of big egoed guys play together and make it work. I don't know how they're going to manage all that. I like Calgary a lot.
Ooh.
Okay.
He likes
So-
Calgary. He likes Markstrom. He is a Markstrom fan.
I
Yeah.
do like Markstrom a lot. Yep. That's what I was gonna say. And they got Johnny Hockey still. He's good.
He needs to
So,
turn it around. Is what he needs. To
I'm
do.
gonna say Calgary. And they got Kachuk. They got Lindholm.
So you're saying Calgary for the top?
Yes.
As top
Calgary
dog.
for the top. Yeah. Calgary top dog, and then Edmonton.
Wow.
I can
Okay.
actually give you my top 4 on this one: Calgary,
Yeah.
Edmonton, probably Toronto, and then Montreal, and then the rest. Who the fuck knows what they're gonna do? Ottawa's in the basement, so that's all.
You know,
You never
real
know.
quick, I just realized something. I have two. All right. Well, the first thing isn't a question, but I forgot the Oilers lost Clefbaum all year because of a surgery or something. That's not good. And who the hell are the Oilers goalies right now? Is it still Mike
Oh,
Smith?
It's Mike Smith and Mikko
baby.
Koskinen.
Mike Smith,
God.
baby.
Mike Smith and Mikko Koskinen is still what they're going with.
You
That's
know what?
right. That's all I need.
I still don't change my my answer, but I now am feeling tons of doubt. but my boy Mike Smith. I remember the first time I watched Mike Smith was wasn't he with Tampa for a bit, Mike?
Oh, he was with Tampa for a good.
So
little
I'll
bit,
never
yeah.
forget, like, the first time I saw, like, one of his saves, he, like, went out to play the puck behind the net and lost it, and then, like, had to, like, dive back in front and somehow made the save. But he would just do stuff like that constantly. I'm like, who is this guy?
I would love to say that Winnipeg would be good. I like Scheifele a lot too, and I've liked him for a long time. But it just
Like
it's so like what.
It seems like
I
they
don't know.
should be good too because like they've got like Blake
Like,
Wheeler,
they have Blake Wheeler, yeah. Patrick
got-
Laine,
they've
they
got-
got Scheifele.
Hellebuck and net.
Yeah.
They're just missing something.
Defense. Who do they have on defense?
I don't know.
I think that's where they still need.
That's
some
where
work.
I think that's the answer to our question right there.
Like Bufflin was the big guy for them. Like Bufflin
He
was
was good.
their cornerstone.
Yeah,
that
they
won-
lost. They lost Bufflin, Myers, Truba,
Oh,
and
I forgot about-
Oh yeah, the Truba trade. The Truba
and
trade
Sherrod
was
was
stupid.
also that was like basically their top four.
That's
At
a lot
some
of-
point in time, over like the last year and a half to like 2 years, that was like their core. It's like decor,
Yeah.
and it was all gone before last year. So
there it is.
that'll not help you. Yeah, that's bad.
All right,
All
Benny.
right. Yeah, Benny, let's hear
Let's-
what you think here.
All right, I got a couple spicy takes for
Spicy.
Canadian division. First
Okay.
of all, I'm going to go against the idea that the Maple Leafs added. They did not. They lost all of what's his face from the Kings. They got with Jack Campbell.
Yeah.
They lost. What was his name?
Drop a name for us, Ben.
They
Come on.
got
Oh,
Jack
Ky-
Campbell.
Kyle Clifford.
Jack Campbell, Kyle Clifford. They lost Kyle Clifford, Tyson Barrie, Cody Ceci, as bad as he was, but like they were using him as a significant piece of their defense. And Andreas Janssen and Kasperi Kapanen. And for that, they replaced with TJ Brody, which, yeah, okay.
That's
And-
that's the defensive guy. What the fuck? Who did you even just say?
Tyson
That's
Barrie.
your Tyson
Barry. That's
your
Tyson Barrie,
that's the
right.
Barry.
He's
replacement.
probably going to be a better Tyson Barrie. Like Barrie wasn't very good for them.
Yeah.
I'll give you that, but you're still replacing bodies. And then you added Wayne Simmons and Joe Thornton, which, as good as they have been, and I'm not convinced you're going to move the needle with either of them. So where did you add?
I have something to say later about Joe Thornton.
Okay, I'm not saying that Joe Thornton is going to be a terrible player. For
No, I
them.
know.
I'm saying
I
he's not going to come in and drop 70 points.
I know what you're
like-
saying. I know what you're saying.
You make a
like-
good point, Ben.
I think they're going to be about what they were last year, which
The
was
hardest
a
thing for Toronto is
an
going to be their goalie.
extremely good
Like,
team. Yeah,
it's all going to depend on what Freddie does. If Freddie has
Which-
a bad season, which he could do,
Yeah.
they're going to
they're boned.
be in a bad spot.
Um, But my hotter take is that you see the order those Canadian teams are on the NHL list there. It's Calgary, Edmonton, Montreal, Ottawa. That is the order for you.
Wow. Okay.
Wow. Are you just saying
Okay.
that, or do
No,
you actually think that's what
I
it is?
actually think I don't think this season is going to go well for Toronto, Vancouver, or Winnipeg. And I
Even-
think Ottawa has done just enough ancillary moves with veterans around the team in parts where they did just need more bodies, and are going to be using a lot of really promising young players that are going to take advantage of the fact that they are really promising young players in a compressed schedule, and they're going to surprise a lot of people. And
I didn't think about it like
I know
that, Ben.
I know I am doing a complete about face on Matt Murray, but I'm just thinking that I don't care because I think it'd be fun.
That is bold. sir.
That's
Yeah.
a good point, Ben.
I like it.
You're talking about young versus old, like Ottawa and Toronto. I'm not saying Toronto's an old team. Toronto added old guys.
They did.
They added old, and they
Ottawa
said they're going
has
to use
all
old on their
young.
first line. They said that Joe Thornton's going to be on the top line.
Dude, this is what I was going to talk about earlier. I like that. Joe Thornton.
You like that?
Joe Thornton with Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner. You've got one of the best passers in the history of the NHL on one wing, and you've got one of the best passers in today's NHL on the other wing, feeding to Austin Matthews, who's going to be the best American goal scorer in the history of the game. I don't know.
Okay.
I think I like that. I think
But
I like that.
counterpoint. You by game 25 of this season, 40-year-old Joe Thornton is going to have legs of jelly because he's been playing 25 minutes a night with the top line.
Yeah, that's true.
Like
And that-
he doesn't serve that purpose. And so are you just guaranteeing that, oh yeah, like halfway through the season we're going to change our top line? Because that doesn't sound like a productive thing to do.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Ben, Ben, it's kind of the same case for Montreal, right? Like they have a team that's got a lot of young guys, so they're just going to be hauling ass around the ice because you're talking
Yeah.
guys who are like our age right now. Like
Yeah.
if we were in peak
Or
physical
younger.
condition,
Or younger.
Or
A lot
younger,
of-
yeah.
Younger.
look at us at like
Also,
our peak, and then look at these guys now. Like they're going to be able to skate whatever loads of minutes every single night and not be tired going into back-to-backs because they're 20 years old. But to your point, a 40-year-old guy doing that isn't going to be able to hold up.
I didn't think
and
about it that way.
That's not to say that there are many players on the Toronto Maple Leafs that are incredible talents. I am not saying I would not take any of Austin Matthews, William Nylander, John Tavares, or Mitch Marner on the Canadiens because they're all fantastic. But they have also consistently shown me that they like to play for themselves and score, and very rarely can do anything in terms of keeping their team above water when games actually start to matter to any degree. They've done it for how many years now? 3 or 4? I mean, they could change, and this could be the year that they do change, which I will eat my words. But I don't know.
I would like to throw in that Toronto is almost in the situation where they have 2 first lines. Their second line right now is Tavares in the middle, Jimmy Vesey on the left wing, which is but then Willie Nylander on the right. So I don't think we're going to see 25 minutes. I think we'll probably see 20, which is still quite a bit, especially for old-ass Joe Thornton. But
Who's playing their third line?
Kerfoot, Ilya Mikheyev, and Zach Hyman, which I kind of liked Zach Hyman with Austin Matthews, so I don't know about that. But
Jimmy Vesey is no slouch.
no,
I know
he's
he
good.
signed a super low contract, but I think he's going to play good.
He's
Anyway,
got
Ben,
good-
keep
he's
going.
got good line.
Yeah,
Ben, keep going.
Wait. So we've heard Ben's take with the whole Toronto thing. We're gonna get to Mike's take on that when Mike picks his division.
Really, that was my take basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me just I want to find something. Where is it? Oh wait, I'm not looking at. I need to go to the Canadiens.
Let's hear about your
West.
your Honda West picks.
My Honda West picks. All right, let's look at this. So I think the 4. Well, at least 3 of that 4 is fairly easy. Colorado, St. Louis, Vegas is extremely easy to say. Those 3 should be near the
Should
top
make it. Yeah.
of that division. The 4th? I ain't got a fucking clue. I don't think San Jose is as bad as they were last year. I don't think that. I think aside from Colorado, St. Louis, Vegas, the other 2 I'd say would be most likely to get up to that 4th spot would be Minnesota or San Jose. But I'm honestly not sure what would happen in that division because I think it is those 3 at the top, and then the rest of the teams are all at about the same spot. Like LA,
Except for Arizona, they suck.
I mean, no, they don't suck. Like they
They still
were
have a
doing
good-
something.
They still have a good
Like
goalie.
they were doing some things last year. Like That's what I'm saying. Once you get through St. Louis, Vegas, and Colorado, the rest of those teams they're all just variations of, well, San Jose's like got a lot of once good players past their prime. The rest of those teams are a lot of younger players that are probably going to be really good, like in LA, that aren't quite there yet. So I think that fourth spot in the West is going to be a bit of a coin flip, jump ball, whatever you want to call it. Like, it's going to be there for everybody all season. With Central, I mean, Tampa. Tampa. But other than that,
what are you talking about? You got a fucking team who was in the cup with them.
I hear it. Listen, I got a hot take for the Central when it comes to my turn, and I'm excited to divulge.
I mean, yes, there is Dallas. I do think Dallas is still strong enough. I think they're strong enough to maintain what they had in that. I don't think that Stanley Cup final was a complete fluke. They definitely were a defensively based team that was playing out of their depth sometimes, but they did it so well that they could get past a team like Vegas, who in that bubble playoffs, that was all anybody could talk about was Vegas as in terms of cup favorites. So I think, Tampa, Dallas, and then after that,
my point exactly why I didn't say it's hard.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Carolina, Nashville after that, because I think both of those teams, while they're, I think Nashville's days are clearly kind of like their best days are past them. I don't think they're still so bad that they're gonna miss. I think they'll make that. And I think Carolina is still on the up, but they're also in the position where they really need to prove something.
They got Dougie. They'll be all right.
Yeah, so I would say Tampa, Dallas, Carolina, Nashville is my Central. And then
Discover Central.
Discover Central, thank you.
All right, that's the last time I do that.
And then in the East, because I don't remember what it is, fuck. I'm gonna say
This is a tough one.
Yeah, fuck is right. That division's tough.
That is a close one. If New Jersey had any hopes that they were going to maybe sneak their way into a playoff spot, I think those are gone now. Because I don't think you have a winning season on the back of just Mackenzie Blackwood alone yet. I don't think he's there yet. Fuck though. I think Washington's still Washington. As bad as their bubble playoffs were, I don't see them missing a playoffs. Boston, I'm really not convinced by, just because they lost so much. They lost so much this summer without doing much.
Yeah.
They also have a bunch of injuries right now that are going to some are long term, some are.
Pasternak and Marchand being out for the beginning is going to hurt them, and then they don't have.
It's going to hurt them, and there is that. I don't know. I still think there's just too much talent there from some of the impressive seasons they've had lately that I don't think it's just going to be gone. But I do think if they're not careful, they're within 1 or 2 years away from becoming that, like, kind of going down that path. I think they're still going to make the playoffs this year. So I got Washington, Boston, and then I'm going to make it boring. Islanders, Philadelphia. Actually, I guess that's not really that boring because I'm going to say Pittsburgh's not making it. Pittsburgh.
There's really no boring answer here. Here in the Mass Mutual East Division.
Mass Mutual, okay.
Yeah.
Mass Mutual.
No love for the up and coming Rangers, Benny?
I don't think this is the year, no. They had a pretty decent run through the end of the last season before the bubble happened, but then they got absolutely curb stomped by Carolina. And that's not to say Carolina's a bad team, but they're not of like the top tier of the East.
That's true.
Well, the former East Conference that we'll be returning to eventually.
Hopefully.
And they got curb stomped by them in that 5-game series. Like, it wasn't close. So yes, Lafreniere will help them. But I think they're still on the outside looking in.
All right, I'm going to go. All right, so the Canadian division. I have Toronto. I don't know, man. Like, I know they've failed before. We've talked about this so many times. I think they've improved. I think they're gonna be in the top 4 at least. I think they'll win it, but we'll see.
All right. I'll call you up on Wednesday when the Habs win 5-0.
Go ahead, bud. Then I have Edmonton in the 2nd spot. I have Calgary in the 3rd spot. And then I have Ottawa in the 4th spot. No, I'm just kidding. I got the.
Sir,
I'm just
okay,
kidding.
I was
I'm just kidding. No, I've got Montreal in the 4th spot. I think Montreal will make it into the top 4 at least. They could very well win it. You got a tidy little team over there, Benny.
It just came out of
They're
nowhere.
They're a sneaky little squad. I'll
Yeah.
tell you that. It's a
Yeah.
sneaky
Because-
squad.
I actually have. You want to hear the 4 lines?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Because they're sticking with this as their top line for now because it's like the top line they've had for the last few years and has been really effective. So they want to kind of give like Suzuki and
Is that
Kotkaniemi some
the
time.
Tatar line?
Yeah, Tatar, Danault, Gallagher. They've been one of the most effective even strength lines in the league
Mhm.
for a couple seasons now, in terms of just being able to shut lines down as well as score. And then they're sheltering sheltering is a strong. Anyway, Drouin, Suzuki, Anderson as a second line, Toffoli, Kotkaniemi, Armia as the third line, and Byron, Evans, Lehkonen as the fourth line.
Dude, I forgot about
That-
them having Toffoli.
That's a pretty good group right there.
Yeah,
Wow.
Those 4 lines.
That
like
sounds
you're-
better than I thought it would.
There's a lot of young like Suzuki,
Oh, there's a lot of young
Kotkaniemi,
guys there.
Suzuki, Kotkaniemi, and Evans are all extremely young players playing at center that it could go a lot of wrong directions. I will admit that. But goddamn.
That looks good.
Like
That looks
yeah, and then the
Yeah.
defense
Some of those
defensive
guys
core
can
as of
play
now
as of
is-
old. They'll be.
Yeah. The defensive core as of right now is Sherratt Weber, which has kind of been their go-to top for a little while. I'd argue it might benefit them to throw somebody who's a little more mobile with Weber, because Sherratt's not the most mobile defensive in the world. But they got Sherratt Weber, Edmondson Petrie, and Kulak Romanov.
Someone like a.
I am not
Sergachev,
convinced. Yeah, that would be really nice.
maybe?
But the thing is, Romanov so far through training camp, ooh, he's
Looks
been
good.
looking like something. He's been looking like something. So hopefully that'll go well. But yeah, that's the Habs, and then Price and Jake Allen. You got Price and Jake
Yeah,
Allen.
probably the best tandem, other than maybe Dallas's.
Yeah, that's
Depends
a pretty
what
good tandem.
depends what Bishop does. Bishop fucking who knows what that guy is.
Yeah, well, he's another Stamkos. Like he's when he's on, he's so good, but he just gets hurt all the time. He's got a delicate groin.
And
He was
then,
having he had groin issues in
Lord.
fucking Tampa years ago.
He did. Yeah, in 2015 when Chicago, Corey Crawford won the cup. That was the
Yeah.
problem.
it all comes back around.
It all circles back. But in the West Division, I have, Vegas, Colorado, St. Louis, and I think San Jose. I think San Jose is going to be up there. I'm
That makes
hoping
sense.
Erik Karlsson has not been the Erik Karlsson of old, and there wasn't too many defensemen more fun to watch than Erik Karlsson of old. And I would love to watch an old time Erik Karlsson come back.
So you got to wonder. I hope that because he was part of the group of teams that has been off for like 9
Exactly.
months, 10
Exactly.
months now. If he ever had needed some time to rehab,
Got it.
You got
there
it.
you go. So that's the thing that I think is going to be interesting with a lot of guys around the league is like how many players did we think were just gone that have just been dealing with a fucking shoulder injury they didn't want to get surgery on or whatever, that they finally were like, well, I have 9 months until I play again, so might as well.
Yeah.
And I wonder how many resurgent careers we're going to see this season. I think that is a fun little twist to all of it too.
That's why at the beginning of us recording these, I was like, I think I like San Jose. And my whole thought was Erik Karlsson if he can get back to where he was. Because
If he can, that
he
will
was-
be big for them.
he was
'cause
freaking so
they're paying
dominant.
him 11 mil for some time.
Oh, I forgot it was that much. Dang,
They're paying him a lot of money
I
for a
forgot it was that.
long time.
it's unfortunate. All right, my Central Division. So here's where my hot take comes in, and I think I disagree with everybody on this. I've got Tampa on top. it's freaking Tampa Bay. All right, they lost nobody. They lost Carter Verhaeghe,
Cedric Paquette.
Cedric Paquette, and Braden Shen, or excuse me,
You're
Braden
miss-
Coburn.
You're
Jesus.
missing a Kucherov,
And we're
but
missing
you were
Kuch.
you also
But
want to
you're getting
say while missing Stamkos.
And we
But
and,
you're getting Stamkos
and
back.
Stamkos is back. Stamkos is no
And-
Kucherov, but he scores more.
The Tampa offense has been a cheat code for like how many seasons?
It's
like
been,
I
been
think,
like a video game team, yeah.
think he'll be able
What,
to weather
6-7 years?
it. Okay.
Yeah.
Like
It's pretty good. I don't have Dallas in the top 4.
interesting.
I don't.
I mean, that would shock me.
Why? I don't know. But I like this. Like I have Nashville up there. That's the one I'm kind of rethinking a little bit is Nashville. But the two that I think are going in, and they're not really sleeper. Carolina's not a sleeper team. I have them up there, but I have Columbus up there. I think Columbus is going to be better than
I
people
didn't
think.
Columbus, did I? I actually might.
I think they're going to be better than people think. Because
Columbus,
here's the thing. They have
Yeah.
they have a very well established identity of defense, of suffocating you in their own zone and not letting you get shots. And then they
Yeah.
also have, is their starter Merzlikins?
I think their starter is technically Corpusalo,
Yeah.
especially after the performance that Corpusalo had
Yeah.
in the
Yeah,
playoffs.
he was incredible.
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to say. If their starter is Merzlikins, they have Corpusalo either way.
Yeah,
pretty
either
good.
way they're set. Yeah,
So that's,
yeah.
I think,
I might readjust. Actually, I think I might throw Columbus in over Nashville on my side of things.
I think they're going to be good. And I hate that that's the case, but whatever.
Yeah, they are kind of a bit of a like. I mean, you beat them in 5 in that first round, but like
They were tough, dude.
They were
There's a lot of
tight.
those were tough.
there was a 5 overtime game, and you gotta wonder if that
The
had gone a
first
different
game.
way.
Oh my gosh.
If that first game goes,
I think about that all the time.
like
I
that.
think about it.
How much of that would have been like, oh, fucking again? Like-
That's exactly. I think it would have
Yeah.
been. I think it would have been bad. But luckily it didn't, and it went well. So, all right. Here's my East Division.
out.
What's up?
I said, yeah, I'd say it worked out.
Oh yeah. So in the East Division, I have Washington up top. Then I have Philadelphia. I think those are two pretty solid picks up there. Washington, I think, is still good. They've got Zdeno Chara. He adds a little bit of presence, a little bit of size, I guess. And then Philly, I think Philly, they didn't really lose too much over the offseason, if anything. And they've still got Catahat in net, so they're looking
Kata.
good there. And then I have the Rangers making it in. I think the Rangers, I agree with Nick. I think the Rangers are going to do stuff. And then obviously I've got the Islanders. I think the Islanders are still just as good as they were last season when they made it to the conference finals and won 2 games against Tampa. So,
Yeah.
the only team other than Dallas to do that. Even
Yeah.
Boston couldn't do it. It was Boston without Rask though. So, but yeah, that's my those are my picks.
Oh, good takes. Good takes.
But yeah, it'll
The
be
one
it'll be
thing-
interesting to see. The interesting thing about this season, I think, especially with the intra divisional play, is that each game is basically a 4-point night. That's the big thing for
Yeah,
for this
because
season.
the only people you're going up against are the teams you're playing. Like they're all in the same
they all
one
matter.
pot. And that's with that, I think we're gonna see much more of a playoff style game start a lot earlier in the season.
Yep.
Because for one, what you just said, but two, if you look at the schedules, there's like times where
gosh.
teams are going to be playing each other 3 or 4 times in a row.
Yep.
Just bang, 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 bang. And like, okay, say fucking, I'm going to say this because it's the most obvious one. Say Corey Perry fucking elbows Austin Matthews one game.
Oh, it's gonna
'cause
happen
that's the most obvious option. But say that happens one game, they play the Maple Leafs for 2 more games
in a row.
in a row
Oh,
in like
it's
the
gonna be
next
bad.
3 days, like it's gonna get so nuts so fast, and I kind of love it because like
Yeah.
Game 3 of those like back-to-backs, those triples are gonna
Yeah.
be like they're gonna want to fucking
They're
kill
gonna
each other.
hate each other. They're gonna be like,
Doesn't matter if they had previous rivalries or not. They're gonna just hate each other by the end.
And then once you get to the end of that season where you've played all of these teams at least in the Canadian division, it's like I think
it's 9-10, I think, and then it's 8-9 in the
yeah.
others.
yeah. So in the Canadian division, especially 9 to 10 times. After all that,
You gotta play them again.
the first 2 rounds of the playoffs are within the same division against those same teams.
Yeah, it's gonna be bad,
So, like,
dude.
I love it. I just
It's
love
gonna be
it,
good.
and I love it for what I hope it's going to do to. Well, I honestly kind of love the Habs Sens rivalry, but I want it to bring back the Habs Leafs rivalry so bad, so bad.
I think there's no way it doesn't.
Yeah,
Playing a team that much, like,
because it's always in my lifetime of being a Habs fan, it's always been something that's been spoken about, but the Leafs have been terrible. So there's no fun in a rivalry because like there was a stretch of games where I think the Habs won something in the teens games against regular season games against the Leafs in a row. It was something like 18 or 19 in a row,
Wow.
just over time. And like it's obviously since the
Oh no,
dear.
Benny.
oh dear, oh dear, his internet
No.
cut out.
Anyway, to sum up what Ben was saying, oh, he's back.
Oh
I
no.
cut out shit.
All right, he's back.
But yeah, obviously the Leafs have gotten better since then, and they got their core, and there's been wins against them now. But like,
yeah,
but then last year the Habs swept them in all the games they played in the regular season. The Habs won
Really?
every one. Yeah, as far as I
Oh, wow.
remember, I'm fairly certain
That's
that
surprising.
happened. One of them was crazy because it was the Leafs went up 4-1, and then the Habs came back and like went up to like 5-4, and ended up tying 5-5, went into a shootout, and the Habs won in a shootout. It was great. Kasperi Kapanen broke his stick and then threw it at the broken stick at
I
Jeff
saw
Petrie,
that the
giving
other
Jeff
day.
Petrie a penalty shot.
Yeah.
And Jeff Petrie, I think, tied the game at that
Yep.
point on a penalty
Yep.
shot with that. It was
Oh.
hell of a game. That was my favorite moment I've ever seen Max Domi in a Montreal uniform was when Kapanen did that through this broken stick at Petrie. He was like, "Ah, boy, Kapanen, you fucking idiot."
yeah. And now he's no longer there. Now he's gonna be yelling
yeah,
at someone else.
be yelling at all the Tampa players. You're gonna hate him even more now.
That SOB.
Yeah, very
anyway,
excited for Canadian division.
Yeah, you know what I'm excited for is next weekend, boys. Because next
Bengals.
weekend, we finally are going to be getting together. It's been so long since we've all seen
Wait,
each other.
Eric, did you decide you're coming up?
Eric's coming
yeah.
up.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yep.
I got off work.
Yep,
I
so-
essentially found out from work that I'm probably not going to be able to, but
Oh, what
we can
the
talk about
frig?
that. We can talk about that after we end this epi.
Yeah, after the potty
But-
boys.
Dang.
Is
Potty
there anything
boys.
left to mention? Do we have any big? I mean, we got the season coming up in 3 days. That's
Yeah.
probably the biggest thing.
That is the big thing.
Who is pumped for hockey? I guess I'll say because I am.
I'm very
also
excited.
very.
Oh my
I'm gonna,
god, yeah.
Hopefully, I'll be able to watch games every night. I'm going to watch as much as I can.
So after
ju-
watching,
I just Venmo'd Brian for NHL TV so he could get the full league package. So
Ooh.
There we go. Nice, Nick.
we're ready to go. Whoa.
How much is
Alright.
NHL TV?
I saw
so it's
it.
like $85 for a team and then like $100 for the league.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Season.
All right. It's not too bad.
So at that point, if you're gonna spend the money, you may as well just
Yeah.
spend the extra 15 and be able to watch all the games.
Yeah. But I'm sorry. I was gonna say before sitting down, like watching the USA play Canada a few days ago. Like that was the first time like I sat down and watched a hockey game in the longest time. And just the pace of that game. Like I know it's like
Yeah.
they're a bunch of kids, but like that got me so excited. Like I'm like I am ready
was
for
fun.
like NHL caliber hockey. Like
I am ready.
I mean, granted,
for
like
some hockey.
Canada's team is all first round draft picks anyway. So like
I mean, it's not like the American team was any slouch.
and no,
either.
yeah,
They
I was gonna say
won.
the Americans had tons of
Yeah.
they won 2-0.
Yeah.
But you know, so that got me super pumped. Super pumped. Wait, what'd you say, Nick?
I don't know. It
Said,
was so-
haha, Canada. You suck. USA's better.
I honestly was hoping that
Nick's
the US would
trash
do
talk.
well. I was hoping the US would do well just for Cole Caulfield, but then Cole didn't do a damn thing, really. He had a goal and like a couple assists, I think. But
Yeah,
I
it wasn't
maintain
anything
he was
great.
improperly used.
He maintains it.
I maintain it.
Well, I think
But-
that might be it, guys. I think that might be it.
I think that is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So
until
thank-
next Sunday, well, we will actually have regular
Games.
season NHL hockey to talk about.
games to talk about.
We will have games to talk about by next epi.
Yes. So look
So,
forward to
we're
that.
excited
Wait a
for
minute.
that.
This podcast has not existed during like actual NHL hockey, right?
No, because well,
Not
I
this
mean,
version of it, but
Not
Yeah.
the pre-version of it did. But not this
Yeah,
version
back when
of it.
we tried it
If you
for
want to
2
look
seconds.
at some old versions of this podcast, go on
They're
to
still
our
on the channel.
Don't,
Yeah, they're
don't
still
forget
there.
to like and subscribe. You can scroll through our videos and you can see those old time videos when we really noobed it up.
You're so good at calls to
We
action,
need Nick. Yeah, we need Nick for Nick's our hype man.
Yeah.
When we really noobed it up. But yeah, that's
wanna
gonna
look
do
at-
it.
You
for
want to
this
watch videos
episode,
of us
boys.
being terrible?
Oh no.
Sounded like complete idiots. But I remember, boys, that was the year that the Senators did good. And
I
we
think
had
that was their
we
one
had our
good
picks
year.
on the wall, and I was basically like, haha, fuck you guys. I was right and you were wrong.
Made it the conference finals. Yeah.
Yeah, on the
Fucking
back of Eric
Pittsburgh.
Carlson.
No, on the ankle of Eric Carlson.
But yeah, that's gonna do it, everyone. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you next time. NHL's back.
Baby.